Hi guys, this is Brad with the Intensive English program at the University of Georgia. Today I'm going to talk about some grammar. Today we're going to be focusing on the past unreal conditional. If you haven't already seen my video on the present unreal conditional, I recommend you start there first. If you've already seen it, let's get started with the past unreal conditional. We're going to look at some examples and I'm going to talk to you a little bit about how the verbs change in the unreal conditional. So let's start by looking at the first example. Okay, the reality here is she didn't study for the exam and she failed. If I want to change this to the unreal conditional, I have to do some shifts with the verb tense. So let's take a look. Remember, a conditional statement has two parts, the if clause and the result. So in the if clause, I say if she had studied for the exam. I use the past perfect here. In my reality statement, I use the past tense. So the verb shifts to the past perfect tense. It also shifts from being a negative statement to a positive statement. Didn't study becomes had studied. That's a positive statement. In the result clause, I have she wouldn't have failed. The reality is she failed, a positive statement. So in the unreal conditional, it becomes a negative statement. Wouldn't have failed. Notice here that I have failed. Failed is in the past participle form because I'm talking about something that has already happened, something that's in the past. Okay, let's look at our second example. Okay, in this example, I was driving fast and I received a speeding ticket. Now, if I want to change this to the unreal conditional, I have to change the verb tenses. So let's take a look. If I hadn't been driving fast, I wouldn't have received a speeding ticket. Okay, in this example, once again, I'm using the past perfect. In this case, I'm using the past perfect progressive. Because take a look in our real situation. I was driving fast. That is the past progressive. So to make it unreal, I need to use the past perfect progressive. Hadn't been driving. In my real situation, it's positive. So in my unreal situation, I have to use the negative form. The same goes for the result. I received a speeding ticket in reality. In the unreal conditional, I wouldn't have received a speeding ticket. Okay, let's take a look at another example. Okay, the reality of this situation is they didn't go to bed early and they are tired. Now, this example is a bit different from our last two because in the second part, I'm using the present tense. This is what we call a mixed conditional. In the first part, didn't go is in the past tense. But in the second part, the result continues until now. That's why I use the present tense. They are tired. Notice how this affects my unreal statement. If they had gone to bed early, they wouldn't be tired. This is different than the last two examples. The if part remains the same. I've switched to the past perfect. In the reality, they didn't go. In the unreal statement, had gone. There's the shift from negative to positive, and I use the past perfect. But in the result clause, it's a little bit different. I don't say wouldn't have been like I did in the previous examples. Instead, I use wouldn't plus the base form be. This is because the result continues until the present. It's not something that is finished and done. Okay, let's try one at home. Here's the real situation. I missed the bus and I was late for class. Now, this would be a real situation if maybe I was talking about something that happened last week. Well, I could also talk about something that's happening now. I missed the bus and I am late for class. So think back to our previous examples and see if you can figure out how to shift this into the unreal conditional. Okay, let's take a look. Okay, in the unreal conditional, If I hadn't missed the bus, it becomes negative because I missed the bus. Now take a look at our two different results. One is finished and the other one continues until now. In this case, I wouldn't have been late for class, or I wouldn't be late for class. In the second example, the result continues until now. In the first example, it's finished. Hopefully this helps clarify a little bit about the past unreal conditional. It is a difficult grammatical point in English because it requires a lot of shifts in verb tense. My recommendation is practice it as much as you possibly can. If you'd like some more examples and some exercises to work on, please visit our website at iep.uga.edu. Thank you.